welcome back YouTube. We have a special guest today called Aurora. She's come all the way, she's not my client, she gets coached by someone else. She wanted me to do an in-person session with her around her glute training, yes, around the form, etc., but around the intensity as well. So we're going to do tips and tricks regarding glute training and also pushing a little bit more intensity into the sessions too. Yes, we're going to use some movements that she does in her current program, but probably show her some other movements that she's probably going to find feels a little bit better as well. It's quite cool that someone's come all the way from the Netherlands just to have a session in person. So it's actually nice to be able to offer that out and be able to do it whilst I was in the mix of my competitive career. Obviously, I probably didn't have the time to be able to do stuff like it. And I've learned lots of things along my way as a competitor, whether that be mindset and definitely training. Training's a huge part of being a competitor, and especially if you want to be great, you need to be good at training. So being able to give back to other people that want to do really well within their careers as either PTs, coaches, competitors, it's actually very nice. So I'm looking forward to being able to give back a little bit more with things now that I've finished my competitive journey, but be able to educate people so that they can learn things either from my mistakes or even from my successes. So we're going to go through a session. Hopefully you enjoy it. And if you've got anything that you would like me to cover, Heather, just drop it in the comments below. We are going to start with glute kickbacks, and that's just what you're going to do is warm up and activation, okay? So you don't want to waste too much time. You can do more of an activation warm up if you feel better for it. For me, I will do like 2 exercises max per session before. So I'll do, at the moment I'm doing like a hyperextension because it feels really nice for me and my glutes. And then I also do my glute kickbacks as well. And that's probably it really for glute work. What we're going to do first of all though, is we're going to set your midsection. Because you've just said that you really struggle with having an arch in your lower back. So it's a bit of lordosis, the tilt in your pelvis. The last thing that you want to do when you do anything from a glutes perspective is have the arch. Yeah. Because if you're on a hip thrust and the hips are arched, you don't have tension on your glutes. You do a glute kickback, you have an arch in your back, you're going to have less tension in your glutes. So we're just going to do some plank holds, okay? So that is right. So before you begin every rep or every set on anything that you do for glutes, I just want you to think about tailbone tucked. But then at the same time, to be able to hold that, it all comes from your core. So try and think to yourself, you know your ribs here? Try and think keeping them in a little. So you'll almost feel like the ribs are coming into the belly button or the line of the belly. So can you feel that positioning there? That's the feeling that I want you to create the entire time. Like I should be able to, like don't think in, try and think crunch down. That's better. So you know like you do like a cable crunch, that type of feeling. And if I was to punch you really hard, I should be ricocheting. Now I want you to lean your chest over just a little bit. You don't need to come over a lot, but you know the same position that you just had on the floor. So hips under, core tight, and then let that leg dangle out. We don't want to get any more range of motion than that because essentially this is your active working range of your glute. You can take that foot a little bit further back so that you can get a little bit more stretch through, so you can bring it all the way through. Yeah. But just take yourself back a little bit. Yeah, there you go. That's better. Can you feel your glute there? Okay, perfect. You want to make sure at the top here, or the back, whatever you want to call it, the squeeze, you want to take a second. You want to take a second here as well. Don't rush it, okay? All the way in, pause. All the way out, pause. Yes, you might have different tempos that you work with in your own training, but always make sure that your standard tempo on every lift is, yes, move the weight slowly on the eccentric, faster on the concentric, but you want to make sure there's always a pause at the start and end of every rep so you can see the difference. It will make the movement harder, but in a very good way. Pause, and now drive back. Good girl. Pause, drive back. Perfect. Don't let that go. Hold it tight. Yeah, I do some photo shoots throughout the year. Last year I wasn't ready to get like very lean because the year before my body had been very lean for a very long time, and I wanted to get my hormones back into a space that they were really happy. So I'll probably do like a good diet next year, but I'm trying to grow my legs. I want them to be massive.
More than they are?
Yes, yes. almost like wellness, but I've got too much upper body always to do anything like that. So
A friend of mine is transforming from figure to wellness.
yeah, it's similar, but if you don't have very like low lat insertions, I do think wellness is great. I could never do it, but I would like to have legs like that.
Me too, but
Yeah,
not in my head.
no, me either. We can try. I love the Smith machine hip thrust. Right, okay, and then pull your heels just a little bit further back. Perfect, that's nice. Now think hips under, core tight, perfect. And now unhook. Perfect. Let's aim to keep that positioning. Perfect, down, and then drive up. Lovely, good. Perfect. Does that feel really light? Yeah, just leave it there. Sometimes when they're a bit too narrow, you struggle to be able to get that range of motion without feeling like you're really cramped up. So just take them a little bit wider. When you come down, make sure at the bottom you pause. 1 Mississippi. Just try and think to yourself, hips down and forwards, and that will help you keep the hips under. It will help you keep your shins nice and vertical, and it'll stop that from happening. Because if you think down and forwards, you have to go almost that way, and everything comes with you, which is good. And then when you come through, we're perfectly rolling the hips through. Just make sure it is always roll rather than bring. Yeah, just think up. And again, pause at the top. I honestly do think that the barbell is king. I do think that. It's just annoying to set up, especially when you're in prep. But
That's what I tell my clients as well.
yeah,
Like barbell, it's best. But
yeah, it's just not efficient.
yeah.
But if you've got the time, I do think it's one good lift maybe a week. Maybe one of the hip thrusts that you could do it as a barbell. The reason I would do it in that order, so go from hip thrust to RDL, is just because you bias it in the squeeze, you get it fatigued in the squeeze, and then obviously you can fatigue your glutes in the stretch. You know, like the hip thrust where you drive the hips through to get the weight moving? Aggression. So think hips through. Dumbbells tight, everything nice and solid, and just think hips through. That's going to be able to keep more tension in the back of your legs, a little bit less into your spine, and it's also going to help you get stronger. Way better. Slow, pause, drive. Good. And again. Pause, drive. Lovely. Hips, not knees. Drive. Better. Let's go. Hold that tummy tight like you do on the planks. Good. Brace hard. You can do it. Come on. Good. So you could be stronger than what you actually think that you are, but if you've got bad brace, so you can't hold the stomach tight, it'll just break down your lift. So we saw Aurora there, she got to around 4 reps before she even failed, where she just lost that brace a little. A lot of people would just leave it there, but she knew that she'd lost that a little because we did the little plank at the start of the session where we held the stomach, and she knew that if she could get that back, she could get some more reps. So find your brace, learn what one is, use something like a plank at your start of your session to feel that, and use it in every single one of your lifts, and you will get stronger. Like we did at the start of the session, you know, with finding that neutral spine, before you do the lift, think about, you know, getting the weight, but before you go, obviously keeping that dumbbell away from your leg. If you do hit it, the tension is lost. Not totally, but a little. So try and think ribs in, hips under. All you want to do is set that position and just think up and down. Your shin will not move forwards, it will stay upright. You'll get so much tension in your glute, and if you can keep that position, you can feel so much strength that will build. So let's go. This can definitely be your working. Let's go. Pause. Drive. All the more reason to pause. Hold the stomach. Drive through. Good. Breathing, such a huge part. Good. Let's go. Now we're breathing. Bring in. Drive out. Good girl. Let's go. Keep that chest tall. Don't fold. Drive. Leave it there. We'll do this one for glutes. Okay. So before you begin, try and think chest, not too far in, just a little bit, and then curl them hips under a little bit so that you can flatten that lower back. Lovely. As soon as you arch the back, the tension is not lost on the glutes, but it's less. Okay, and then you put a lot of pressure onto your lower back, and you don't want that. So let's unhook the machine. Lovely. So you bring that in. Perfect. So on a glute focused press, you don't want to let your knees roll out. If you let your knees roll out, you take a lot of tension into your adductor. So we want to try and keep the knees nice and in line with your hips. So always stacked. So you think like a shoulder press, you'd always think about keeping elbows, everything stacked. Exactly the same on the leg press, you want to keep everything nice and stacked, especially if you want to keep tension on those glutes. So let's bring it in, but let's keep the knees in line. Pause there, and then drive up. That's the active range for your glute. You don't need to come lower.
Yeah, I feel like if it doesn't hit the thing, it's not equal.
Yeah. I'm the same as you, especially because, you know, quads. But it's just different for this one. I always try and think just there, into your hip, and then pause and drive up. It standardizes it then. Obviously became a bodybuilder and then naturally progressed through coaching that way. I never really had to do in person, and that, I guess when I got into it, it was locked down anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there wasn't any in person happening. So I never had to go that route. But I do think if somebody starts early in their fitness journey wanting to be a coach, I do think that PT is the best way, because you have to build a rapport. Yeah, whereas I built my, I guess, what could you call it?
That knowledge.
Yeah, through my own journey, because I didn't start until like 6 or 7 years into my journey, especially as a competitor. And I built my presence online before that as like an individual, rather than it being, I had to be in the gym to show my transformations. I showed it through myself. It's different for everybody, isn't it? Glute med kickback. We'll go on to leg press.
Yeah, I've got that, and then like press in my session anyway.
And then we'll do a squat. Where do you do your squat? Is it on the Smith?
Yeah.
That's right. We have got client number 2. Well, the lady number 1 wasn't a client. Obviously, she was here from the Netherlands for a session. Hannah is my client. And Hannah actually started with me as a client at the Empower, the 12-week challenge that we actually run with Team MK to help people, not from a competitive environment, but we actually did have quite a lot of ex-competitors that did the initial Empower. Those that had got into competing lost their way after finishing competing and then wanting to draw things back, because they realise what a good routine, eating well, training hard actually gives to them. I think sometimes when people finish competing and maybe they've got a bit of a bad taste in their mouth from it, they step away from it maybe too far, and they forget about those little things that actually make you feel really good. So we had quite a few people that did that. Hannah doesn't come from a competitive background. Hannah was actually quite an out of shape lady, can we say that? But it's just from life of not having the knowledge around it, and you know it's pretty normal for people. Like, they don't understand how to eat well and how to train, things like that. We can't expect everybody to know that, especially if you've been in that environment for a long time. So it's nice to be able to give the knowledge and help someone feel much better within themselves, to then potentially take it that little bit further. Like, we had people that did it that have just continued to do that through their life, their lifestyle, still keep up with their busyness. Hannah's decided that she enjoyed it that much that one day she actually wants to step on stage. But she also knows that it is going to take time, because going from how she was before, we have to do a full transformation of really getting her in shape first, before we then start to grow the muscle and then think about doing an actual competition prep. So we're still in the process of getting to a point where we're completely on point with body comp. We've got, how many kilos did we say that we wanted to, is it?
I was 65 yesterday, we want to get 60.
Yeah, so another 5 kilos to go. So we've got the goal in mind of there's a look that I want to see, but the most important thing really is the learning of lessons and having good habits, and we've definitely got that. So just got that last little bit to push, and then it'll be time to grow. And today we're going to do a little bit of posing like we just did, just so that it's not really about a posing lesson. That was just about when she does her progress pictures now that she does want to compete, actually being able to start them now so that she can actually see like over the next year how her body is going to change, which is always nice. You can set it from the start and have them really nice transformation pictures for her to be able to look back to. And eventually we'll get on stage. We're going to go through some movements as well, the ones that she doesn't quite like. Well, not like, just the ones that potentially, feel a little bit struggly. And then she can go about the rest of her session. So we'll do the first 3. We'll push her through a set and nearly kill her. That's going to be a good one. And then we'll let her do the rest of her session. Which type are we going to do? NPC or NPC? That's fine. Okay. So.
Do you think I will be able to do NPC?
Yeah. We drop the body weight and then we build the muscle. Nothing is out of the picture. Right. So your front foot, keep that facing that side. This foot here, bring it out the way a little bit more. Rotate your elbow in. Bring it down to the body and then keep that waist twisting that way. Obviously, when we grow, we will grow more glute. It's like the front pose, side pose. Yeah. Everybody calls it the horse pose. I don't really know why the horses stand like that. What I do is I pretend I'm doing a lat pull down and you can feel that tension and then you just like drop your arms and then like the more that you do it, the better that you, other people do it with like, so you put your arms to the side and imagine this bit here pinching into your tricep. Some people learn it like that. God, I don't have lats anymore. Where did they go? Perfect. You'll feel like your lower back's snapping a little bit. And then as we build a little bit more mass through your rear delts, you'll be able to see them as well. You do have a good tricep though. So I want you to just bend over like you do on your normal glute kickback. Only cause you holding on to there is probably going to allow you to create a bit more stability. If you stood on like that, because you're like me and you don't have a lot there, you're probably not going to be feeling very strong. So I just want you to create that movement like you do on your normal kickback and then bring it out. You're basically forwards and backwards then, aren't you? Yeah. And then let your foot travel forwards a little bit further and then think about driving your foot a little bit out and back. Can you feel that in there? I can feel it working in there.
Yeah, I can, but I feel loads of tension on this.
You're always gonna, yeah. Until you build a little bit more muscle everywhere, you are gonna feel it there. One thing I like to do on it is I try and put a little bit more of my weight into that cable bit. You're never going to be able to get away from it completely. That's really good range of motion. You're not taking it too far and arching your back. It's really nice. You can see it working. Your first warm up so that you can feel the movement, I'd do like 6 to 10. And then the next warm ups that you do, it's more just about feeling the load. So I'd probably do like 2 or 3 just so you can feel confident. And then you work in sets, your normal reps. Down, slow, pause, don't rush. That's better. Good girl. Let's go. Good. Slow on the way down. Pause at the bottom. Good. That's better. Oh no. One more, come on. Try. Good girl. That was good. That was nicely to failure. Just let me see it without having the bar on your back. Before you begin, think about curling your hips under a little bit. Just like you do on everything else. So tuck it under. Then think about getting your ribs in so that you've got your core tight like what we've spoken about. And then just let your hips sit back a little bit. Just so you can feel your feet. And all you want to do is think about driving your knees forwards and sitting into your heels. Trust yourself. That's better. That's way better. That was a very quick 101 on squatting. So you know when you do that, are you keeping all the weight in your heels? Or no?
Yeah.
Try and keep a little bit in your toes. Okay. No, your toes as well. Both. Now let's try and do exactly the same thing. Good girl. Way better. Good girl. So that is the end of the little shindig in the gym with both Aurora, who came over from the Netherlands, to go through a lovely glute session. She took a lot from it. She actually asked some really nice, insightful questions during and after as well around coaching, and I'm always happy to share my knowledge, especially for other people that want to help others promote their own process as a coach, or you know, there's not really a lot of females that talk about coaching or bodybuilding in itself, so I think it's nice to be able to create that hub where people feel like they can ask questions. I'm not saying that I'm a scientist, I'm not saying that I am, you know, the best coach in the world, but I am someone that's willing to share my experience and my knowledge with other people. And then we had our little session with Hannah as well. Like I said before, Hannah is very much at the start of her journey. That's why we were going through a squat today, because she can't squat, and we've been trying to do that over the form feedback on WhatsApp, and it's just not quite going in. So actually being able to see her in person, break it down, even just doing a barbell. Obviously she can't add any weight just yet because the movement's just not moving, but that is a basic lift. So when you've got someone who's right at the very start of their journey, actually being able to help them with those basic things of how to eat well, when to hydrate, how to sleep, how to switch off, how to create a routine, etc. Especially if it's never been anything that's been part of their life, it's really nice to nurture someone in that way, to help them feel confident, feel good, be able to achieve the things that they want to achieve within bodybuilding in the future. But she knows that it's going to take a long time. First we have to get lean, we have to learn the process, we have to learn how to train well, and then over time we'll be able to build up to getting on stage. But again, she is passionate about making that happen, so it's really nice to see that, and really nice to break some things down with her so that she can feel more confident in her journey. And even stuff like that, seeing them in person, you can build a really good rapport, you can build a really good relationship, etc. Like, you don't have the ability to do that with people that are in different countries, and it's fine, it builds really well, and sometimes there might be opportunities to see those other clients that are in other countries as well, which is always nice. But being able to build that little system with Hannah today, and for her to feel confident to take some things away, was actually very nice. So I'm excited for her and her journey, and maybe over the next couple of years we'll see some more videos of her to showcase what she's been able to achieve as well, which is so exciting. Right, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Comment below, #sessions. And if there's anything that you'd like me to cover, please let me know. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back again for another video.